Hey guys, another podcast for Tulsa Bedbug Specialists. You can visit us at tulsabedbugspecialist.com or tulsabedbugexterminator.com. So here's just going to be a podcast of a few different things that we deal with in this wintertime. Of course, a lot of pest control companies get less calls just because certain pests aren't active in the winter time. They're hibernating or or laying dormant. So we'll talk about the calls we do get commonly. And it's not to say we don't get calls for all kinds of pests. We just get less of some common pests. So some of the more common pests that we run to in the winter time, and of course this is in my area. I'm in the Midwest, Central America, so we do get all the seasons: spring, summer, fall, winter. It seems that the spring and fall are kind of always, well, I would say all the temperatures, I would say, is over the last 15 to 20 years have kind of changed dramatically. So sometimes it seems like you get more of one season, less of one season. So it's definitely interesting. And it's harder to predict certain service calls you'll get in a season like you once could. But nevertheless, in the certain seasons and times of the year, we do get less calls for certain pests, more calls for other pests. So going down the list of different things, and there's other factors too for our business, as well as, like, for instance, different holiday seasons. You find less people. It's not that they're dealing with less pests, but they're maybe dealing with less funds. Essentially, like, the month or two before Christmas, people are saving up for Christmas, especially to buy gifts, for a certain, for family members, or even planning trips. So they're going to spend less money. In the summertime, sometimes there's usually pretty consistently, but then there's some customers that are, hey, I'm saving up for a vacation, so, or I just got back from my vacation, so I'm drained of money. So, you get less calls from certain people, or certain demographics anyway. So there's other factors that go into certain things. It usually around the new school year, it might not be because of lack of money. It just might be because of lack of time, or interest, or I'm not noticing all these bugs and I ain't having time because there's different tasks that started up in the fall that was free over the summertime. So there could be many factors other than just money. So here, but nevertheless, we one of course, due to our name, one of the services that we offer is definitely bed bugs. Bed bugs, because they're a pest that gets carried from home to home unknowingly. Bed bugs usually can't are pretty consistent throughout the year as far as jobs or appointments that we schedule for clients on getting rid of bed bugs. There might be other factors as far as money, as far as appointments go, other than weather. Um, so so yeah, there's that. Roaches are pretty consistently throughout the year, and of course, there's other factors other than the season. German roaches specifically. German roaches are a, you know interior pest, so meaning that they can only survive inside a home. They don't survive outside a home. I'm sure they could under certain circumstances, but not effectively. Not. I mean, it definitely has to be in a weird situation for them to be able to survive, and not, maybe that's not even the word, thrive, but they can thrive definitely inside of a house. And they like to, if they started a kitchen, I mean, you're probably not getting rid of them without a professional. So that's a factor. So yeah, the weather is definitely a cause for is not really a factor on the appointments that we book for German roaches. Another pest is rodents. Rodents, of course, like any pest, and maybe I should have started out by saying this, but pests in general, they survive. They need three things to survive: water, food source, and shelter. So anything else they have, definitely can create a thriving environment. But those are the three basics that they need: is a food source, a water source, and not even water, moisture. Um, so if there's like a damp area they're in, they can thrive off that just as well as they could if it was, a drip water leaks in that same area. So, so sorry about that. So back to rodents. Yeah, rodents is another pest that we deal with pretty commonly in the fall, winter. Um, and unlike other pests, when you look at rodents, bed bugs, roaches, they their reproductive um, cycle is usually throughout the year. So it's consistent. It doesn't happen in certain seasons. They don't need to take time off because once they become birthing age, they don't stop for any season, you know, or for any reason. Well, there might be reasons as far as the shelter, safety, food source, different things like that. But other than just the season, no, they don't. They don't change for the weather or climate they're dealing with. So anyway, yeah, and of course you can imagine now. Unlike roaches or bed bugs that have to be introduced into the home, rodents find their way into a home. Rodents such as mice and rats. So they're at a house or they're in a shed. They're surviving. It got too wet. It got too cold, maybe too hot. So they find themselves looking for better shelter. And so thus, they found a hole in your home, whether to start a family, they had a food source that was there that they loved, or just being comfortable, and of course, safe from predators, right? These are different things that they have to think of. And so, definitely with those elements, they can thrive and definitely start family after family after family. So, that's a thing to consider. So, we do get a lot of calls not consistently throughout the year, but you do see a lot of heavily roaches or I'm sorry, a lot of rodent control appointments being set. Silverfish is another pest that we see commonly throughout the year. I do kind of see a lot of them inside. They kind of slither their way, kind of from cracks and crevices. Is usually foundation problems is where they you find a lot of these pests. And then of course the last thing is, and we don't deal with too many of these ourselves in our company. We farm this industry out, but wildlife. So wildlife, a lot of wildlife's a nuisance wildlife control is the service you would probably Google. Um, Nuisance wildlife such as skunks, squirrels, raccoons, possums. There's another common. In my yard I saw a beaver once, but I don't know where that thing came from. Um, and I feel like there's another one, but consistently these guys they do might have a season where or certain seasons that they lay babies or mate and lay babies, and so it kind of just depends. But one thing about the winter is they, of course, like every pest, they need to be sheltered from the elements and winter. So other other seasons aren't so cold, so they maybe survive outside, maybe in a barrel or some sort of um, tree limb, different things like that. They can find a way to survive, but once it gets too cold, they need to be in a structure. And so that's when you kind of find yourself, when you kind of see more of them in the winter. And of course, they want to be more comfortable if the females are pregnant. So those might be reasons why you see those throughout the year. And of course, they always want to be sheltered, but once it starts getting cold, rainy, the elements start coming out, then that's when they're a little more desperate to find a structure or nesting. Um, so yeah, so there's that. So anyway, again, and these are factors and different things to consider where I live in the Midwest. Um, so so yeah, these factors might definitely may be differ to what area or time zone you live in America or North America. So so yeah, those are some tips or some ideas or factors to think of when it comes to pest control. Something that we've learned over our experience in this industry. Yeah, so thank you guys for listening. It's about a 12-minute episode. You can find us on all the platforms. We're on TikTok now, so you can find us. I think our name is the same on every platform, at least starting with Tulsa Bedbug. So so you might put in Tulsa Bedbug Specialist, Tulsa Bedbug Exterminator, Tulsa Bedbug on any of the platforms, and you should find our company. So and that consists of YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, of course, Google, YouTube. I feel like there's a couple more. Instagram, and you can find us at all these places. But yeah, if you have any questions, shoot us a. Twitter is probably the best way to get to us. Is shoot us a question, a something to want to say. I think our info will be in the description. Well, I know it will. It'll be in the description of the podcast. But thank you for listening. Until next time, see you guys later.